Hi, everybody. Thanks so much for joining us here on this blab. I am Holly Claire with the Social Media Advisor, and I would like to introduce to you a really good friend of mine, Scott with Tactical SEO. So say hi.
Hi.
So Scott is one of those amazing experts at SEO. And this series, I'm going to be doing one a month, highlighting marketing pitfalls and how to get through them by using the right team. And so this is all about you, Scott, and showcasing the amazing man that you are in the work that you do. So I'm looking forward to this. And before we start, I'm really excited for you to show the group your coffee mug.
My lucky, trusty coffee mug. There's no Tootsie Rolls in that.
That's amazing. See, I have an iced tea, no fancy cup.
This thing has been on every Afghan deployment, and it somehow survived. I don't know how.
Well, that's something that the audience might not know about you. How did you get started in what you do? SEO.
I started, I guess, back in 2004, 2005, technically. I was active duty military, stationed in Georgia at the time. And a project that was on, it was basically about 2 months of downtime where we weren't deploying, and the duties we had at home could not be done because of a manufacturing issue. And so I essentially showed up at work every day at about 7 a.m. and I was home by 9 a.m., which doesn't usually happen when you're active duty military. It was kind of weird.
Fun.
But I got bored really quick. After a week of doing nothing and a little bit of golf, I decided to learn what it's like to own a business, to start a business. And I decided to build an e-commerce website. I didn't know how to build a website, didn't know how to spell SEO, didn't know how to start a business, but I figured why not just do it. And so I built this website. And then once I built it, I realized, there's this thing called SEO. I guess people have to see it to purchase your products. It was kitchenandcutlery.com. And actually, I bought this awesome SEO training CD set. I can't believe I still have this. Way outdated, but
is that a VHS?
No, it's CDs actually. It's surprisingly.
I was kidding.
But yeah, so I learned just enough to get the site ranked, make a little bit of money, and I kind of had fun with it for a while until life got busy and hectic, and I moved to Michigan, and I decided to just let that site go, and I essentially just got rid of it. Unfortunately, I closed the doors. I wish I had kept it in the long run. But over the next 5 to 6 years, I just kind of built a few more affiliate sites, learned about WordPress, did some more ranking, learned a little bit more about SEO. And again, it was just a hobby at that time. Made a little bit of money, nothing much, just learning. And it was 2013. I was back from my 6th deployment, I believe, over in Afghanistan. And just before I was heading back, about 2 weeks before, my wife comes to me and says, "Honey, I have cancer." And then 2 weeks later, honey, we're pregnant. 12 hours later, I left for the next 8 months for the desert. And that was really difficult. So immediately I realized once I was there, it's time to do something different in life. And that's when I decided to take this hobby into something full-time. And I found an organization called OMG Machines, and some of the best SEOs in the world became my mentors. And I just really dug in deep. And 8 months later, by the time I got back from deployment, I had a fully up and running, successful. Actually, I had a few websites that were extremely successful in some of the most difficult niches in Denver, period. And I dominated those niches. I realized, wow, I can really do this. That's when Tactical SEO was born. So it's been 2 years now that I've just been doing this full time. Love it.
That's so awesome. And I actually think I met you maybe 2 years ago. So right after you had gotten that launched.
It was that spring right after my son was born. Yeah, I decided, I didn't really know anybody in Denver because I spent majority of the years in other countries. And so I started attending some networking events, and that's when I met the beautiful Miss Holly Claire.
You're too kind. You're too kind. So what are your top 3 services, if you could pick 3 that gut. I'm telling you. Brilliant.
Top 3 services. It's organic SEO for clients. So not pay-per-click. I don't do web design. I build my own, but I don't do it for clients. And I don't do social media, management or anything like that. I refer all those people to you. But I will make sure social media is set up properly in SEO fashion. So I SEO for clients, rank and rent, which is kind of a neat option for people. And that's a safer option because there's a lot of people who have been burned by SEO in the past. And so it's a way for them to make one payment to myself for whatever niche they're in, say it's roofing. And they don't have to pay again until it's ranking the top 3 positions in Google. So if it never ranks,
that would be a huge win because they're not out of anything
just the
initial build, unless and then they should be getting more business. This necessitating the fee. Yeah, absolutely. That's cool. Okay.
So that's something I do. Then reputation management is something I do on the side as well, which is important. There's people who might have a rip-off report or an article that was slamming them or whatever it is, or their business, and they want that gone. And there's ways to basically push that out of potential views of potential clients or customers.
When you're looking at reputation management and articles that people don't want, are there specific platforms for that you would focus on, or?
Yeah, it's really, in most cases, it's taking other platforms that are good. Let's say their Facebook page or YouTube video, or it can just be something generic. Just build a brand new website and basically outrank the bad stuff. So you push it down to a point where it's on page 2 or further, where nobody really goes anyways. Let's be real. And then that way they're not finding out whether it was good or truthful rip-off or whatever it might have been or not. It doesn't matter. I mean, we can push it down.
Really cool. Okay. So what is the number one question that you get asked by clients or potential clients?
What packages do you have? You get asked that all the time. And I always answer just one: your package, your custom package. I'm sorry, no 2 industries are the same. And there's different types of clients, different types of competition. Why would I rank a law firm the same way I would rank a mom and pop bakery shop? So right. Packages, no. It's custom. I do a custom analysis for every potential client. And from there, decide what's going to give them a great ROI and what is it going to be worthwhile for my business.
Gotcha. Okay. So then what are the top 3 industries that you work with?
Mostly service-based industries. Home services for sure. Roofing, plumbing, electrical, painting, that kind of stuff. Medical, surgical centers, dental, cosmetic type stuff. And then miscellaneous can be thrown in there, I suppose. Flight school, photography, real estate. So there's a lot of different ones. Right now I have an individual who owns a fitness company that trains in fitness competition. They also have a bunch of products that they sell, really cool products actually, that are headbands for the gym, socks, kind of neat stuff. And so they've come to me, and they're on a national platform. So now I'm trying to play around with, okay, well, what makes sense for them, and what can we rank them for nationally, and is it worthwhile? So I'm willing to tackle almost anything.
Well, so do you work with only one business in a particular category?
In most cases, yes, but within reason. Obviously, with law firms, there's personal injury, there's DUI, criminal defense, there's family, whatever. So each one of those would be different, and they're not interfering with each other. Now, will I take 5 roofers in Denver and promise to rank them all? No, I'm not. Too many other companies will do that. They'll have 15 roofers. And yeah, we'll get your first page rankings. Well, let's just assume they're good enough to do that, and most of those companies aren't. What happens to the other 5 people?
Right.
So I don't play that game. I try to keep it to 1 or 2, and 2 even isn't a big deal because you have 2 businesses. Let's say 2 Denver roofing companies, and for Denver roofing, one spot. For roofing Denver, the other one might be the one spot. It flip flops, And anybody who's in the number 1 or 2 spot, they're happy.
See, and this is the reason why I wanted to do this type of a blab, because of the fact that there are so many companies out there who say that they do SEO. And truth be told, they don't. And, it always comes up when I work with clients on social media, they get confused sometimes with social media being SEO or social media being a website. And I have a very, very short list of people I can refer. And the reason why is because I've seen time and time again, folks are getting hurt by individuals who are just taking a ton of money and not doing anything.
I see that all too often, and we'll actually go back to the Denver roofing example. It's just funny. This actually happened a couple years ago when I was first getting started with tactical SEO. This gentleman came to me, well, it was a roofing company, because he saw the incredible rankings I was able to achieve in the law firm niche, which is extremely competitive. And so he says, well, if this guy can do law firms, he can do roofing. So I showed up to his place of work with a proposal, and I did some analysis beforehand. And I sat down and said, all right, sir, well, let's just kind of go over the basics of SEO first, because you've clearly never had SEO. He says, yeah. No, you haven't. You might think you haven't. I then said, all right, how much did you pay? He says, $1,000 a month for the last 15 months. And I just felt bad for him. Man,
Wow.
He could have used John Boat or something, you just threw all that money away. He got nothing. Nothing. Not even some of the most basic SEO that even GoDaddy will do for you. Didn't happen. So it's just too common. These companies will take the money until the client fires them. But hey, they got the money.
Oh, that's just devastating. Okay, so what is one thing you want everyone to know about your industry or a misconception?
Let's see here. I guess that most SEOs, like we were just discussing, really don't have an idea of what they're doing. They really don't. That's why too many people get burned, and it can be tough for me because people have already been burned in a lot of cases.
Yeah.
One of the law firms I work with right now has spent probably $200,000 in the last 2 to 4 years on SEO that didn't do anything until I came along.
Wow.
And one thing to keep in mind for anybody who ever looks into an SEO firm, if they offer packages, in most cases, not all, run. If they guarantee rankings, run. I'm sorry. Unless you own Google and you profit $10 billion a month, you can't guarantee a darn thing.
Well, right. And that's just the thing. Google is constantly working on changing all of their systems. You've got the whole zoo, right? You get the penguin. I don't even know. I can't even keep up with all the animal names that they've got for all their different changes. But it has to be ever changing. So that way one person's just not dominating the space all the time, I guess. Probably really, really great for their AdWords campaign and stuff like that. But for someone to say, I guarantee something, you're putting your credibility on the line.
Yeah.
Because how can you guarantee? I can guarantee that I don't know if every morning I'm going to wake up for the rest of my life, right?
Yeah.
Just something arbitrary and silly. One day I'm not going to wake up. And I can guarantee that. But I don't know what the next 5 minutes are going to be. I don't know what the next 2 hours are going to have for me. But I do know that right now, this is a possibility. And I could rank higher than I am right now.
I mean, you just go by somebody's track record. I mean, I can go to a client and say, do I feel 100% confident in ranking you within a certain amount of time? Sure. I feel confident in that, but I can't guarantee anything. Again. So if somebody offers that, run. And the other thing is, if you're working with a company and you're not ranking and you're getting frustrated and they come back and say, oh, you just need to blog more, run really fast. That's what your crap. Yes, blogging is important.
Yes.
But you don't just tell somebody to blog more. There's a system to the blogging. Every time you post a blog, it has to be done in a certain way with certain on-page SEO. There's certain off-page SEO that can be done. And then there's internal linking structures that can be done. It has to be done properly because if you do nothing, it's not going to help or hurt. If you do it the wrong way, it's going to hurt. If you do it the right way, it's going to help a ton. That's just one small example. But I've just heard that way too many times from other people, who are telling me, oh, yeah, I was just told to blog more. That's a cop-out.
Right. Just like social media is always going to get you at the top of some sort of search result. No, it all works together. It's a nice cycle, and you can't just pick one thing and expect it to work all the way across the board. It all works together. Mm-hmm. And that's what's so fascinating about online marketing. That's for sure.
Absolutely.
Oh, Tracy would like to know if you guys have ever met.
Is it me and you, or me and her? We're
Tracy.
trying.
Scott, did we ever meet?
No, we have not yet. Not yet. One of these days. Was hoping to see you tonight at my meetup, but hey, I guess Holly and I are just going to have to rock it out.
Oh, it'll be fun. So for those who don't know, Scott has a meetup for SEO and online marketing folks, and it is open to anyone who wants to come in the Denver area at 6 p.m. So if you're curious about that, tweet me on Twitter, which you've got my handle, and we'll get you the link for the meetup. But I'm actually doing a presentation today talking about SEO in social media, which is a great tie-in to all of this because, there's SEO on your website, there's SEO in your blogs, there's SEO in social media, and like we said, it all works together.
I had somebody very recently, I think within the last week, they were talking about SEO. They just couldn't decide, I don't know whether I should just do SEO or social media. And I said, well, social media is SEO and vice versa. Like it's all intertwined. It's all important. So there is no one or the other. You need them both. And for SEO, social media is going to be a part of it. Yeah, a lot of people just don't realize we're all a family, which is why I focus on one thing and I do it well. I do SEO, organic SEO. I do it the best. Anything else, I outsource to, such as yourself or web designers, I'll outsource to, and pay-per-click people that I recommend. But that's something that I don't handle in-house. I recommend people that I know I can work with and I know do things well, such as web design. I'm going to recommend somebody that I know I can work with because obviously the creation of a new website is very important, how it's done on an SEO standpoint that the web designer might not know because they're good at web design, not SEO. It's all a collaboration.
And that's a really, really good point to mention because if you're working with a firm that does all online marketing in one shop, how many people are in that team, right? Because you've got to have someone who just specializes in the thing that they're great at. Someone who just specializes in pay-per-click is going to be totally different and have different experience and knowledge requirements than someone who does on-site and off-site ranking. Same thing with social media. I can only be an expert or really, really good at certain social media platforms, but once I start adding on all these others, now I'm going to be only okay at all of it, not really, really great at those few. So that's one of the reasons why I as well like to collaborate with other people who specialize in certain things, because I don't believe that you can truly be awesome, which is my hashtag. I don't believe you can truly be awesome at everything. Yeah. A solopreneur has a hard time doing their actual business because they have to also be their own accountant, their own tax person, their own coach, right? Their own website designer. And so you bring in people who specialize in those things and you not only save time, but then you save the headache of having to learn it all.
Absolutely.
All right, I'm going to get to, here we go. Do you have any funny stories from your SEO experience?
Let's see, any funny stories? I've definitely been on some fun events across the country with SEO standard events. Some of it we can't really talk about here, but there's definitely some unique individuals out there. But as far as funny experiences, I'm not sure. I mean, I did have somebody recently I thought was funny. Go to my website, they found me online, and they filled out the discovery form, and they're going after a national product. They want to sell their product nationally. And right away, I'm thinking, gosh, this is huge as far as their competition and everything else. And gosh, this is going to be a really expensive product or project. And I'm talking $8,000 to $10,000 a month probably. And then I get to the bottom and said, "What's your budget per month?" And it was $100. I didn't even respond back.
Oh wow.
I just funny, like somebody a lot of people expect, because GoDaddy and some of these other companies say, oh, you want to add on SEO for $200? They think it's really inexpensive and easy to do. And no, it's not.
Well, and one of the funniest things we were talking about a few months ago were in regard to a project that we were both working on together. And there was an analysis done of this particular website. And lo and behold, there were links to the website coming from a variety of different places. And you're blushing slightly because you know what I'm about to say. Actually, there was a series of porn sites forwarding links to this business's professional website, and you have to get those taken down. And there's a process to that.
There is. That happening isn't. It's just normal. Actually, it happens all the time. But I just loved who it happened to, and I was able to, have some fun with it.
Yeah, we got a little chuckle out of that.
We did. I just wondered what you were doing. I was just waiting for my wife to check my computer and the history and see well, what the heck were you doing here? I swear I was doing an analysis.
I promise. So we got another question. For someone just starting out, what are the main things you would suggest they look for? They look at for broad understanding. Example, understanding their page ranking, reading SEO, understanding how Google has changed over the years. That's a good question. I would love to know how Google has changed over the years as well. Additionally, I'm going to read it over here. Are there sites that you would suggest to help with understanding SEO a little bit better?
Yeah, actually, I have a few documents, and the beautiful Miss Sarah Hips, she's a good friend of mine.
Yay! Thank you for joining, Sarah.
Yeah, that's something you'd have to, I guess, private message me afterwards, because I do have some documents and that kind of go over the basics of SEO, kind of the history of it, that I've given to a few other people. I'm not sure where there's an actual website to go to. I know there are some. It's just something I happen to have in my files. But also, one of the great things that people really don't understand is Google Guidelines. It actually, that's something I can dig up the link at some point. So again, private message me later. But Google actually has a pretty in-depth list of SEO practices and standards, what they want to see. And it's pretty general, too. It's easy to understand. It's not getting that deep. But it does have a lot of, there's a lot of things last time I read through it, which wasn't a few months ago. I had a lot of aha moments, oh, wow, yeah. Because sometimes you forget the basic stuff that can actually make a big difference.
And that's why you do your mastermind and constantly are in training, learning all the new things going on. I have the same thing as well. I would be lost without my mastermind. I mastermind with Colorado Women in Social Media, and so there's 13 of us, and it's a capped group now. But if we didn't get together every single month and talk about what are the new platforms, what are the changes going on, then we'd spend a lot of time having to research it on our own and not have a community of people to actually visit and discuss the challenges with.
Absolutely. So important. I have one friend who actually, every time Google comes out with a patent, he knows about it, because Google comes out with a patent before they change an algorithm or add a new algorithm. And he studies day and night. He's one of the top SEOs in the world, and then kind of tells us, his close inner circle, what to expect based on his findings. And then I have another individual who has a few thousand websites that are ranking. And for instance, last weekend, a lot of people, I don't know if anybody even in this knows, there's a huge core update, Google update that happened. And this individual is somebody who immediately, every time an update happens, analyzes all of his, a couple thousand websites and sees what trends are happening where and why. And the rest of us find out exactly, okay, this is what they're targeting, or this or that over here. So, yeah, it's really important to stay up on that.
That's awesome. I love it. That dang cup. I cannot get over it. Okay, I need to know. Now, this is the most serious question of the day.
Mm-hmm.
If you could be a superhero, who would you be and why?
Thomas the Choo Choo Train.
Thomas the Train?
I'm just kidding.
That's because you're a dad of a little boy that watches that show right now.
That's his hero. So, no, actually, I would say my wife, in a way, she is an organizational genius or freak, however you want to put it. It can be kind of annoying sometimes, but that is not my expertise. And she is just so darn organized all the time that I wish I had those skills. So.
Well, so your wife is going to see this and be like, "Oh."
She's probably not. She's in the medical profession. This is way over her head, just like when she comes home and talks about some surgery she did. It's way over my head. I understood one word you said, hon, hip. That's it. I didn't get the rest.
That is hilarious. No, you'll show her, I'm sure. Okay. Being that I do interview men and women, this is a very important question because we need to, treat ourselves a little bit. So I may know the answer that you're going to give on this, but I want to see if I'm right. So what's one thing you do to treat yourself, and how often do you do it?
Mani-pedi.
No, that was not at all what I thought. That is so cool.
Look at these. These needed, though. They're pretty rough. No, you're probably correct in what you thought. Disappear in the mountains.
Yes.
Yeah. I just have to disappear every once in a while from either just an afternoon, whether it's on the Harley or in the Jeep, just for an afternoon ride, or 4 or 5 days off the grid. I just have to do that every once in a while to refresh.
So important. Because if you can't find some means to refresh and refuel, then you're just going to be drinking coffee out of a toilet seat.
Mm-hmm. That's one thing Morgan at least finally understands now. Every time I came back from a deployment, after months on end, living, working 14 hours a day, 7 days a week, sleeping in a 6x14 box with 3 other dudes. It's just, when I come home, and also I'm not used to society here. It's more of a culture shock coming back home. And she understood that for about 2 weeks, I'm not me. I'm not normal, according to, her normal or my normal. And so I usually expedite coming back to normal by disappearing for about 5 days.
Yeah, that's smart. Once a year, we take a week and we'll go off into the mountains, sit by a lake. We have a cabin that we rent, and I don't have internet. Awesome. And, you have to take time away from technology, especially when you're on technology all day long.
Yeah, the only technology I bring is a Kindle. That's it.
You bring a Kindle? Oh, that's a good one to bring.
Yep. No internet or anything. It's one of the old ones. It's just something to read.
That's a great one. So this kind of might answer this one as well, but do you have a hobby? And what does it do for you personally or professionally? Yeah,
it's similar. Well, SEO, I still consider a hobby. That's how I got started. I love doing it. It's just fun. It's challenging and rewarding. I like a challenge. Let's put it that way. But cooking is another big one.
Yes.
At least once a week, I'll cook up something. I just love to create new dishes. I've been all over the world, tried some interesting things, some great things, some not so great things. And I just like to take some of my experiences abroad and make my own dishes. So I'll take maybe something that might even be normal, or people, something traditional people have had, but I'll put my own twist to it and have a lot of fun with that. But of course, again, off-roading and riding Harley is the other thing.
That's perfect. I feel like we know so much about you already. One thing I don't know is, I'm not sure if you're a person that's into resolutions, or if you have a word every year or a quote or anything that you kind of meditate on. What do you do?
So I do set some goals. We go over them every once in a while. I have a mastermind of 4 other of those total professional SEOs around the world. And we will meet via Google Hangout. And we, every once in a while, go over what our goals were for the year and see where we're at and on track. But yeah, there's actually one that I've always had written on my whiteboard, since I've started doing this. And it's actually a Bible verse from 2 Timothy chapter 1, verse 7.
Okay.
For God did not give us a spirit of timidity, but a spirit of power, of love, and of self-discipline. Which
That's
is
a good one.
Yeah, kind of refreshing, because sometimes I don't have the best, self-discipline, or maybe I'll just get a little bit too irritated at something, or just be scared to do something,
Yeah. Oh, I love that. I too, I have a verse, I have a word, and looks like we might have lost Scott, but I do have a verse and a word that I really enjoy resonating on. This year, my word is joy. Finding joy in all things, personally, professionally, and being present in the moment. And we're going to add him back. Give me just a second. Looks like he might have some technology issues. What is the biggest error you see young or inexperienced SEOers do? Okay, so I'm going to actually welcome back.
I hear you the whole time. I just had to refresh apparently the page.
So we got another question. And it is, what is the biggest error you see young or inexperienced SEOers do?
I guess actually the biggest thing I see by far is shiny object syndrome. There's so many tools and trainings out there, and there's so many different ways to use SEO. There's affiliate, there's Amazon, there's client SEO, and there's so many others that I think people just see all these shiny objects and new ways to do SEO that they end up doing a little bit of everything and doing nothing. So what I like to tell people is find your focus, and if you happen to have a website of your own, do some in-depth analysis or have somebody help you on keywords. Because if you think, oh, this keyword's great, okay, it might be what you search because you're an expert in the industry, but what are the people looking for that service actually searching? It could be completely different. I get that a lot. So it's just find that one focus and then focus on it and do it, and just ignore the rest of the shiny object stuff.
That's a really, really good way to describe that. One of the things that I've heard, or that I actually teach as far as social media and searches for SEO, is ask your clients how they found you and what they typed in to find you.
Yes.
Because what you may say, it might be a little bit more technical than what they're actually searching for.
Yes, absolutely. That's a funny example is here at the law firm, because I also co-own a law firm marketing company with some local lawyers. And of course, they've been in the industry for a while. And I'm the first SEO they found that actually got results, but they've done a lot of it themselves. And they've always had a good practice of asking people, how did you find us? Or why, and not just how, but why. And one, this is great, their website. A lot of people, they've had countless people say, well, I hired you over the other guy because you offer 100% free consultations. The other one's just offered free consultations, but you're 100% free. The hell does that mean? Free versus 100% free. I mean, but hey, it's stupid little things like that you figure out works and you implement it.
I love it.
Yeah.
This has been so helpful. I mean, first of all, just to get to know more of you and where you've come from and what you love doing personally and professionally is really helpful for me as a referral partner. But also, I feel it kind of gives you an all-around picture of who you are and the type of business person that you are. And one thing that I know for sure is that you've always been committed to making the customer experience an experience that they can remember. And you always fight for what's right in the online marketing space. And honestly, you do give a lot.
Yeah, sometimes too much, I'm told, but hey, that's all right. I'd rather overdo
it.
That's one thing. I have a video on my homepage that the awesome Eric Easted helped me create. But there's a point in there where I talk about my aspect of doing business isn't business to business. even though that technically it is people to people, because I don't want just the cold business mind frame. I want to get to know the people I'm working with. I want to get to know their wants, their hurts, their pains, their joys, and then that way I can know exactly how to help them and grow their business, because that's obviously something that's important to them. It's a big part of their life. So I think it's just important to just get to know the individual, and so it's people to people. And when you're looking for an SEO, you don't hire a price and don't hire a promise. Hire the person.
Mm. Because people do business with those that they like, know, and trust.
Yes, ma'am.
Well, sir, I want to say thank you so much for taking the time, and thank you for serving our country. And I just value you as a person, as a professional, and you're a great asset to my network. So thank you.
Likewise. Thank you very much. Been a pleasure. Thank you for joining.